In this lecture, we're going to look at the application window control. Along the way, we're going to look at menus, menu bars, and stack view. The application window Qt Quick Control gives you ready-made spaces where you can stuff in your content. You have a menu bar, for example, you have a header, and you have a footer, and you have the main content area. If you look at what we have on the right here, which is what we're going to build in this course, by the way, the file edit help thing here is the menu bar. In the header, we have put these buttons. These are really convenience buttons for menus that are inside these file edit help menus. We have the main content, which contains these rectangles here, and we have a footer, which contains our tab bar. And to be able to navigate through these pages, we are going to use a stack view, and you're going to learn how to use that too. We're going to go to Qt Creator and do all this. Here we are in Qt Creator. We are going to create our project. It's a Qt Quick application. We hit next, choose our Qt version. We choose our kit and finish. We want to import Qt Quick Controls, and we want to change the title here to say application window demo. Let's put a space in here, go to the documentation and look for this. If we go to the description of this, it is a window which makes it convenient to add menu bar, bar, header, footer, and things like this. And you have it here. This is how you build it. And you have all these components that you can work with. Menu bar, header, footer, and you put in some contents inside. This is exactly what we're going to do in this lecture. Let's go back to our code and change our window here to the application window. And what we should do is come here to speed up things a little bit. We're going to copy all these things because we're going to need them. So no need to type them again. The Qt documentation has done the job for us, and we're going to fill in these placeholders, Control A, Control I to align. But before we go any further, I want to explain a little more on the stack view. I'm going to click F1, open in full mode. It basically is a component that can be used with a set of interlinked information pages. It allows you to have a stack of UI components, as you see here. And you can do many operations on them. You can push new items to the stack, or you can pop or remove items from the stack. You're going to see how we use this. I just want you to have an idea of what we are using here. Let's close this and work on our menu bar. It is basically going to contain menus. So our menu bar here is going to contain 3 menus: the file, edit, and help menu. So we're going to say menu here. And you can learn more on these by going in the documentation yourself. It really is easy, and you probably know how to navigate the documentation by now. A menu can have a title. So we're going to say file here. And the way you put content inside in a menu, you use an action element. I am going to put in an action that I had prepared, Control A, Control I to align. Let's go to the documentation for it. And you're going to see that an action represents an abstract user interface action that can have shortcuts and can be assigned to menu items and toolbar buttons. It basically is something you can have in the menu, in the toolbar, and you can have shortcuts for it. One of those things is, for example, to copy something. Okay, you can have a UI component to allow you to copy in the toolbar. You can have it in the menu, and you can have shortcuts for doing that. Okay, so this is what we have here in our code. It is an action. This is a new file menu item that we're going to have. We can specify an icon for it, and we can know when it is triggered. When the user clicks on this action in the menu, we're going to know. Okay, you see that it also has an icon source property. This is how you specify an icon for it. I think this is a chance we have to provide these icons. So I am going to go to the resource folder here, click add new, Qt resource file. I choose resource here. I add a prefix. You probably know how to do all this. And I need to go where these things are stored on my drive and add a new images folder. I am going to go in the folder and paste in a bunch of images that I had prepared. Okay, it is these icons, and you can see that it is a set of different actions you can do in your application. So what I want to do, I want to come back to our resource file, go inside this folder and select everything in there and add it to our resource file. I'm going to save. And if I come here, this file icon should be available now. We want to add a bunch of other actions that we're going to need. So we have the new menu item, we have the open menu item, we have the save menu item, and we have the save as menu item. Another thing you can do is separate menu items in your menu here. The way you do that, you come here and put a component called menu separator. Okay, and you put it here. There's going to be a horizontal line separating these menus. Let's add the last action in this menu, which is the quit action. Control A, Control I to align. And you see that when this action is triggered, when we click on the quit menu item, we are going to quit the application. And you recognize this Qt-quit method from the Qt global object that we have seen before. Okay, this is our first menu. We need to do the same for the edit menu and help menu. I am going to put in those menus. I have them prepared to save you some typing. We're going to go down here and put in those menus. Control A, Control I to align. And you can see that it basically is the same thing. I put these actions on one line to have things readable a little bit. And you see that we are using QSTR to make these things translatable. You can do that if you want. Okay, actually, let's change the first menu here to be like the others. Okay, so I'm going to come here and change the title to say this and change this to file. Okay, this is the way to go. This is the way you do it in a real application if you want it to be translatable. These strings here are going to be translatable in different languages. But we're not going to go deep into this subject in this lecture. Now we have our menu bar complete. The next thing we want to focus on is the toolbar. And what we really have to do is add in a bunch of buttons. These buttons are going to be tool buttons. We basically put them in like this. We have a row component, and inside we have tool buttons with a few pre-selected actions that we have to the top. These are the actions we want to show up in the toolbar. We have the new, we have the save, save as, and quit action. Okay, if you go up, you can find all these actions where we define them here, and we give them IDs. The next thing we want to do is to add in the pages that we are going to navigate through in this stack view component here. So we're going to go to this QML QRC file. That's where we want to add them so that they are with the other QML files. Add new Qt QML file. We call this page 1. We change this import to say qtquick.11 because that's what we are using here. If you come to the main QML file, you can see it. And we want to have a rectangle component inside. And we want its color to be green, for example. We want to do the same to have 3 pages. So add new Qt QML file. It's going to be page 2. Hit next. We finish this. We come to page 1. We copy it. And we paste it here. And we say this should be red. Come back here. Add new Qt QML file. It's going to be page 3. Okay, and we paste in our thing here, which is going to be blue. Okay, we have our pages. Now we can come back to our main QML file and work on our stack view. It is going to fill the parent, so they did this for us. We want to give it an ID, stack ID. And if you go to its documentation, let's see if we can find it, stack view. You see that it has a property called initial item here. It holds the initial item that should be shown when the stack view is created. Okay, so we want to assign page 1 to this property. We show it like this. And in our footer, we're going to have a top bar that is going to allow us to navigate through all these pages. The way we do that, we give this top bar an ID. And we want its width to be the same as the parent's width. Inside, we want to have a few tab buttons. So we're going to say tab button. The first one is going to say QSTR. The first one is going to say page 1. And we want to do something when it is clicked. The first thing we want to do is to take something that is on top of the stack and remove it. And we do that by calling the pop method. And we want to put the page 1 component so that it is shown on the stack. And we put on the top of the stack immediately. And we do that by saying mStackID push. And we want to give it what to show. The way we refer to what is in the QRC file here, you say QRC and say page1.qml, because that's what we want to be shown when this tab button is clicked. And to make sure that our thing is working here, we are going to console log the number of items in the stack. We're going to say console log number of items, and it's going to be the depth of the stack, the depth property. You can look at this in the documentation. Okay, when you click this button, we're going to pop whatever is on the top of the stack, and we are going to push the item that we want to put in there. In this case, it is going to be page1.qml here. We want to repeat what we just did here and do it for all the items, the remaining 2. So we copy and paste. Here we say page 2. It's really going to be easier now. And here it is going to be 3. And here it is going to be 2. Here it is going to be 3. And ladies and gentlemen, we have everything in place to test our application window thing. And now it is convoluted. There is a lot of information. Now we're going to run it, and I'm going to try and explain it again. And I hope you're going to understand it a little more better. Okay, we have our application here. Ignore these things for now. And we can click to navigate through the pages. Okay, the first page is green, red, blue, which is what we specified. In here, page 1 is green, 2 is red, 3 is blue. And we have menus to the top here. If you click on File, you're going to see New, Open, Save, Save As. If you come back to our code, the File menu has New, Open, Save, Save As. This is how you build it. You basically specify things you want to have in the menu bar. Okay, I want to have the File menu, this menu here. I want to have the Edit menu, which is this menu here. I want to have the Help menu, which is this menu here. And if you come back to our application, you see these menus here, File, Edit menu. The way you put things inside, you use actions. This is our action and a few properties inside. And it really is the same thing. The menu separator here, I hope you saw it. Okay, you can see it is this line here. Then what we did, we took a set of predefined actions and put them in the toolbar. Okay, you have the new, save, save as, quit actions in the toolbar. And it is what we have down here in the header. Okay, we have a toolbar. And we define tool buttons and pass in the actions that are going to be in here. And by now, I hope you see that the flexibility of the action item is that you can use it in multiple places. We defined it here in the menu bar, and we are using it in the header component here through these tool buttons. Okay, an action can be used in many places in your user interface, and the logic that you defined on that action, for example here, the logic that is going to happen when you trigger this action is to quit the application. Okay, we can quit the application from the file menu, and we can quit the application from the toolbar by clicking on this tool button here. And we have to prove what we just said. We're going to come to file here, click, you see that the application dies. We start it again. We click on the quit action here in the toolbar, the application quits. Okay, you see that our code works. And the rest is really specifying the icons in the resource folder and making sure they are available when you pass them to the actions to be shown like this. And this is really all there is to working with the application window. You work with it when you want to take advantage of these menu bars and toolbars and footer locations. And you're going to see mostly used with the Stack View component because it allows you to navigate through pieces of user interfaces defined in different components like this. And it makes it very easy to do. If you go back to the help, you're going to see there's a bunch of methods that you can work with the Stack View, and you can learn more about them by clicking on each one of these. Okay, this is all I had to say in this lecture. I hope you enjoyed it. I'll see you in the next chapter.